So what's up? You want to go into weapons?
Yeah, I have a few things to say about weapons. Number one, probably one of the best movies of the year, I think. Of all the movies released this year, probably one of the best ones. Like, if we were doing, like, top of the list. It was very surprising. I'm not usually a person who's, like, super interested in children's horror. Or, because, like, all I saw was kids running around. I was like, oh, wow, scary kids. Never seen that before. But it was something completely different. The focus of the movie wasn't even scary children at all. It was more the horror behind what happened to them that they focused on that I loved. But I want to ask you, what do you think people... Do you think there's anything in this movie that people could feel confused by?
Feel confused by?
Yeah, confused with. Because I've been seeing some things online.
Is that light close enough to you?
Yeah.
Why is it so far away?
It looks good on the camera. It looks good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think do you think it's kind of confusing thinking about the gun over the house? Spoilers, by the way. We're going to talk about spoilers of weapons.
I asked him about this, specifically because you bring up the gun, and then what else did you want to bring up?
I don't know.
Mainly the gun, because there is some controversy spinning about this movie because everything needs to get political today. But here's the main thing. This movie has a lot of different things going. If we just get down to the plot, okay? The plot is essentially that 27 children...
27 or 17?
27 or 17.
I think it's 17.
Yeah, 17 children go missing just randomly in the night at 2:17. Yeah, no, it is 17. It is 17. Because 2:17, 2 people, 17 kids missing.
Okay.
Yeah. So 17 children go missing in this movie, and the whole time the horror around it is just figuring out what is causing these weird phenomenons, and we eventually find out. If, again, spoiler review, we'll put a timestamp or whatever for you to skip ahead. It's a witch that is becoming a parasite into this town and feeding off people to cure her from her sickness. Or maybe just her dying. I think it's her dying, like her age is catching up to her, but people could see it as like she is like infected with some sort of sickness or disease. The controversies that are spinning around this movie is you had gun symbolism and you have a bunch of children disappearing in a school. And I'd like to bring some evidence as to why I think this movie does relate to school shootings in some way. Because yes, it's not the main thing, but I think we should address why it's so strange that people think that it has nothing to do with this movie. Stop making things political. When really talking about school shootings and the tragedy behind them shouldn't really be... You don't have to face the politics of it. It's just like, man, isn't that sad? Like, how do people deal with school shootings?
Okay.
Okay.
So does weapons relate to school shootings?
Yes, definitely. It's not the main focus, but I have evidence behind this. One, an AR weapon was above a child's house when there was a father having a nightmare about his missing son. He witnessed a gun above the house, which there's no other guns in the entire movie. I mean, there's police officers, right, but not that type of weapon in the movie at all.
Right.
Those are the weapons that people talk about when relating to school shootings, which I'm sorry to keep saying that over and over again. I don't know how much I can talk about that on YouTube because we could get like demonetized for that, just even talking about it. But
bullshit.
Bullshit. I can't believe YouTube. It's so annoying. You know, people have
if
to say...
that's true, bullshit.
No, because people even have to say shit like unalive instead of...
Right.
Yeah, it's stupid. But...
It's dumb.
With school shootings, there's a few things relating to it. There's a few things that are a little bit far-fetched. But when the children went missing, it was 2:17. And people are relating it to a Bible scripture where I think, if we're looking at it, I think it's in Matthew. It's like... mourning over the death of innocent ones. 2:17. But the bigger thing, that's a small thing. The bigger thing I think it could relate to is that the director himself said that every character represents a reaction during his own grieving process when he lost a friend. Mm-hmm. This is during an interview with the dad. He plays Thanos. What's the actor's name?
Josh Brolin. Josh
Brolin, yeah. It was during an interview with that. So why would the director specifically have... Because I don't know why you wouldn't think about this in our time right now. If you're making a movie that involves a whole classroom missing, and then you're involving grief in it as well, why that wouldn't be something that passes through their head while in production. Mm-hmm. So, he said every character in that movie relates. You have the teacher, like the person responsible for the children who's now accused because everyone wants something to blame. You have the grieving father, you have the junkie.
The friend that died did he die in a shooting?
I'm not sure. It was just in an interview that I don't think he got too deep into it. The director,
because you can relate all of those characters to grief individually.
You can. Anyway. It can be grief, but also you have it alongside a bunch of children being missing in a school.
Right.
So even though he might have not experienced it directly, that's still something you can comment on during your film, because film doesn't have to be only about one thing. Shocking.
Right. I don't think, like what I was kind of thinking is, I don't think it's the main message of the movie. I don't think it's even I'd
say it's more about abusive homes. I think that's a bigger focus.
I think it's about a lot of other things, but I think there is a subtle message in there about the school shootings, because there is some weird coincidences.
Why would there be a gun? There's another thing with the bill that was passed too. There was a bill that was being pushed to pass, and it was like, I think so many votes or something like that. 217 was related to the bill. It wasn't allowed to pass, but it was to control certain weapons, and school shootings was brought up during the whole process.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's as deep and as far as some people make it out to be. Like, I've seen some TikToks where people are acting like people are dumb for not even getting it.
Yeah, but then I've also seen TikToks that think... Yeah, but then
I don't think it's as obvious. I don't think it was
No, but then I also see TikToks of people being like, you're stupid for thinking it relates to school shootings at all. So it's like both ways. It's media. It's film. It's art. You should be able to interpret it.
I get why people are like... Because it really doesn't relate to school shootings. Like, for the majority of it, I don't think it does. Like, I don't think it really does. I think it relates to a lot of different things, but I don't think it relates to school shootings.
When you have a whole, like, a scene filmed where there's a bunch of parents angry about their missing, possibly dead children at a school board meeting.
I think there's definitely some parallels you can derive from it, and kind of pair it up with school shootings, and looking into the psychology of parents when they lose children like that. That is paralleling school shootings, but I don't think that's like the main message of the movie, because it doesn't really follow. It's there, but it doesn't follow all the way through the movie, so it doesn't really work.
Another cool fact about that: apparently his friend died on the 7th of August, which is the same day that the movie was released to theaters.
Okay.
I think the actor said a little weird. He said including previews, which I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that you include. Does that mean that the day was released in theaters, like the preview in theaters?
No. So if we're looking on here, Weapon's got a 7.9 on IMDb and a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's really good.
It's doing very well.
It's really good
in reviews.
It's very iconic.
94% in critics reviews and 86% in audience reviews. That is a pretty awesome turnout for a movie. And
audiences and critics to love.
I'm sure it's doing pretty well in terms of box office because of how popular it is. It's kind of, let's see here. So it's gotten a worldwide total of 172 million, which doesn't sound like a lot for a movie theater movie, but it actually is, because
movies are doing well.
Because horror movies. Yeah. And this is why horror movies are so good to be able to be horror movies. People love when horror movies are original.
Yeah, because it's always the same thing over and over again.
And there's a big fan base of people that go out and see horror movies no matter what. Like, it's a new horror movie, they're going to go see it. And kind of like the way there is a base of people who go see superhero movies.
Yeah, it's like some people want to go to the movie theater to get scared. Like, that's a good place to go to watch. It's a scary movie.
But like, people don't always go out to every movie to see a love movie or see a love story movie, or
maybe just for a date or something like that.
See an action movie, or like
action movies are the hardest, I think, to get people in theaters,
because you have to convince them there's something else other than
because at least with family you can bring
people actually enjoy going to the movies just to see a horror movie.
Yeah, because like with family, you can bring them to a kid's movie, or a romantic movie you can bring for a couple or a date.
But on the other side of that, horror movies are one of the cheapest movies to make.
And the easiest to write for some people. If you want to make... People make a lot of bad horror movies, what I'm saying, just because people think it's easy to write, and then that's it. You don't have to put any actual work into it. So according to according to Wikipedia, their budget was only $38 million, which is very small. So 172 million is what they made. So they did over 5 to 6 times their budget. Wow.
In revenue. So that is definitely a success. There's talks, obviously we've seen the talks about a sequel prequel idea, so that there's
that gets more. I think it's into Gladys, which is the witch antagonist of the movie, that lured all the children in there. Actually, there's some interesting things about her. Theorizing what the movie's going to be about, there's some evidence that she's been around for a long time. I saw somebody pointed out that, interesting enough, do you know what she meant when she was talking to the principal and said, the family can't come see you? Because she comes into the principal's office and he wants to meet one of the children's parents. Little does he know that she invaded their home and has taken over their lives, essentially. And can you guess what she means when she says they've come down with consumption?
No.
So apparently the term for tuberculosis was what they used to call consumption. And the earliest that you can go back to see that is in the 1700s. So that specifically was when the movie to be like, she's been around for a while. Whether like if I'm accurate or not, that is a really old term.
So she's like a immortal kind of thing?
Yeah, so I think this is why she's definitely a parasite too. There's a lot of parasite imagery in the movie. Even the teacher talks about being a parasite. What she does is that she feeds on people's energy and just slowly sucks their soul away until there's nothing left to keep herself living.
Right.
So she goes in this home with his parents, which I don't even know she's related to them or if she's like mess with their heads, because I also think she has psychic abilities too. I think she intentionally put dreams in there to mess with people, to like scare people away. And also I think she could even put in false memories into the parents, like giving them nightmares to think that they're related to them. Like she can mess with people's heads. What the hell was I saying? Wait, oh yeah, so after she takes the parents, sorry, I go off and I just live in some zone for a few seconds. I have no idea where I am. Anyways, she was with the parents and the parents aren't enough, and that's why she takes the children in. The son's entire classroom. She uses him to like get them there and basically feeds on all these children, which is so oof. The horror behind it is thinking about something like that happening, just having some being control you and be a parasite in your mind.
Yeah, we talked about it we have a review in the car right after, so you guys should go watch that too, because that's more of a fresh review.
Yeah.
So we kind of remember stuff a little bit better in that review.
Yeah.
And that's why in the future, when we watch stuff, if we don't do the podcast like right after, we're going to do a fresh review and upload that. Like Creature Commandos, we would have done that, but we finished it just like an hour ago. So like that's kind of where we try to line it up so the podcast comes right after, but that's not always going to happen. So for at least movies, especially new movies, that's pretty much always going to happen. We're going to have those parking lot reviews. But yeah, we went a little bit deeper in that. But yeah, in that video we said it's not really a horror movie because there was I
think it's definitely a horror movie.
It is. Okay, yeah, it's a horror movie.
It is,
because Midsummer is a horror movie, but Midsummer is the same way, where Midsummer is this horror movie that's a psychological.
It's not a cheap jump. It's just a psychological.
It's a psychological horror movie, and that's kind of where the direction.
Those are my favorite.
That's kind of where good horror movies are going in modern day. Like that's where the direction they're going. So,
instead of like some cheap slasher films,
right?
Or whatever.
So I think it's a lot more interesting and a lot more scary because psychological horror is the best horror, I think. I mean, I think it's now my favorite horror movie of all time is the first Scream movie.
That's your favorite?
That is, I think so.
Is it the scariest one to you that you've seen?
No, it's not scary to me, but I love that movie. Like, I think that's so funny. That movie's so good. Like, I love that movie. I think it's a perfectly made movie. That is my favorite horror movie of all time. This is up there, though. I love this movie. I actually haven't seen many horror movies. I like A Quiet Place. I think that's a good one.
There's also some really good imagery in this movie that is very super unsettling.
Right.
The door that would open.
I can't think of all the horror movies I've seen. We need to do an episode where we just deep dive into all the horror movies that we've seen, because I haven't seen a ton, but I've seen a good bit. I don't know, but the first Scream movie is my personal favorite. But yeah, kind of like how Scream's not scary either, really. I mean,
no, again, it's like a slasher.
Right, it's just a slasher film, and then but this.
I'd say it's more the scariest though.
This movie is definitely a psychological horror. It's not a jump scare horror. It's nothing like that. It is very just scary about the idea of this happening is pretty freaky, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Also, but again, there is some. It's not just the concept. There's some scary imagery that they do in here. the acting that they had, even the iconic, it's a little silly, but the iconic run with their arms.
Right.
One, it's really good marketing, and also again, it makes it iconic. Everyone's gonna know when they see that pose. That's the Weapons movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like they're on strings.
Right.
Like they're just being like pulled towards this target because they're used as weapons in the movie. That's where that's another thing that people talk about school shootings too. The movie literally being called Weapons. But yeah.
Yeah, it's really clever. Like, movies need to know this when they're creating their stories nowadays, is that you have to kind of have that grip of like a marketing tool or something that makes the movie stand out. Like Smile, like having that smile and then doing marketing with that smile.
The marketing for Smile was very good.
The way to kind of
whether
go
it was a
about
good movie or
things.
not, it was really good.
Right,
Like,
and this movie is the same way. Like they're able to create that iconic imagery that like old horror movies were able to do very well. Like the old horror movies like knew how to do that very easily, or maybe it's just because they were so new and it was new.
Well, also
film
like
and
it was
new
kind of
media,
campy. Like they made it intentionally a little campy
right,
too.
But do you want to go through the plot and like talk about some of the plot?
I think we've kind of brought up the plot. It's basically 17 children go missing. No one knows what's happened to them. Also, I think it's like this weird situation with the police. Just like the police suck in this town. Because somehow. Let me not jump ahead. The children get disappeared and no one knows what happened to them. Everyone blames this teacher. And the way it plays out, it's like a book. Like they focus really on the different characters, which is also
we should talk about that.
I love the storyline with that. That's just all that that we can say is that it's like chapters in a book where they like retell parts of the stories through other people's point of view.
Yeah, I love how it is told like a book. And I actually, when we got out, I was like, I felt like it was a book because to me,
I felt like a boogie
to
story.
me, and this might just be one of my crazy opinions. I don't know. I feel like when movies are adapted from a book, you can like tell because it's written in ways like when people write a movie, they write it in like the ways that movies will work and cliches in movies and just the way movies and the structure of them work in movies. But when you write a book, you can write a book to be so creative and so different. Like, and you can do that with movies too, but I think you can do different things.
A lot of Hollywood likes to keep a lot of the same things over and over again.
What I think is when you do a faithful adaptation of a really good book, you can tell like it's from a book sometimes. Like, I don't know. Like I feel like
Game of Thrones, how it was after the books ended.
I feel like sometimes I think one of the biggest distinctions in this is that in books usually don't have this huge like climactic event at the end. I feel like in books a lot of time the climax comes from the characters and like their experiences and what happens between them. But I feel like a lot of movies, there has to be this like big event that happens at the end that it builds up to.
I think Marvel kind of made that a staple.
And I think it's done by Marvel, but it's also, it kind of just perpetrated between culture and media and all that. And like movies just have to end in this big thing almost. But I feel like when it's adapted from a book, you can tell because books don't need that. They care about their characters and they care about them coming together because a punchy action scene or a wildly spectacular looking event does not matter to a book. What matters in a book is the characters you're following, and that's purely what matters in a book. Like, so I feel like that is like the case. And like there's some books that it merges really well, like Harry Potter, like it's very well translated to film. But there's also some books, I can't even think of any though. Like I don't know. I can't think of any. But my weird rant ends in the idea that this movie feels like a book, and I was surprised to know that it wasn't based off a book, and it actually impressed me because I love movies that are written like books. I think they are more creative. I think they don't fit formulas as much as other movies. Like I think the way cinema formulas feel sometimes, it's just
a little weird, a little overdone over and over again. The same
you can
thing.
you can just feel what's gonna happen next.
Oh yeah, it's like when you especially when you learn about writing and stuff, it's like the writers
especially when you're deeper into watching movies and writing and all that stuff. Yeah, like you can kind of understand. Well, then this has to happen and this has to happen. But like when you don't know, when it's written in this way, it's so interesting. Like it's just so different. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I say it's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
I think there's a lot of cool things about it.
Do you want to break down some of the characters, or like, so we got directing?
Well,
here.
only if you want to. We got to cover all topics. We might have to move on soon.
Well, we'll go through
if you're
quick,
okay with that.
So directing, we'll go through some different things. How's the directing in
the
this?
directing? I think it's apparently people were surprised because this director. If you look it up real quick, look at the other stuff he's directed. From if I'm remembering correctly, I remember someone being like, the guy that made that made this.
Zach Kreger.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
He made some, I can't remember what it's called, White Boy or White Man or something like that. It involves something.
I don't know.
But he hasn't made, if you see, he hasn't
Well, he
made
definitely made a name for himself.
But I'm saying, like, again, you look at his movies, they're not really like anything big or noticeable. Like,
Right.
it's just some.
Well, maybe this is his start.
Yeah.
Maybe this is how it happens.
Yeah,
Somebody
but it's
makes
so
a good
original,
movie.
though. It's so.
Right, but
I love
somebody
it.
makes a good movie, and that's how you get out there. And then the next project he'll get is a bigger one.
And now he's going to get some good funding,
Right.
some good investors.
No, I think it was really interesting.
for
Just
him.
the shots, the every shot had meaning. The way they shot it, I felt like it was very
Pacing. I love the pacing of the movie.
pacing. Oh, that was.
Oh my god.
I should put.
I
that
didn't
in
want
here.
it to stop.
should
Like,
put
it was a
pacing.
movie where I'm like, I don't want this movie to end. I just wanted it to
I
keep
will
going.
say the pacing was very well done. It's one of the best paced movies I've seen. Because sometimes movies just feel like there's just a part in it that just bogs it down.
You're going, or
But
yeah.
I felt this movie, the way they paced it, especially one of the coolest choices they made was Gladys, the villain. They didn't bring her in until like
No, they didn't
halfway
reveal her in
into
the
movie.
trailers. Really, there.
And that was really admirable to me too, is after we found out apparently she wasn't in the trailers. So that was really cool too. And I think that was a great choice by the creators because things are in the trailers way too much nowadays.
Yeah. And also, I think honestly, it could have made people wore away because it's like, oh, it's a weird witch lady.
Right.
Like,
but I love
the
that
mystery there drew
first-
people in.
I feel like it's like it was almost the first like hour and 15 minutes. She wasn't really in it, other than like the vision she showed up in randomly, like in the background. But she didn't like walk into that she walked into that principal's office, and that's when she walked into there. It was like, oh, who's
Well, we
this?
saw her
Like,
first
we met
in the
all the
Nightmares.
characters, and now this.
We
is
saw
just
her
a
first in the
random
Nightmares.
character.
We saw her first in the Nightmares.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then I think she was in the woods with the Jason, the junkie.
Yes, yeah, he
Yeah.
saw her too.
Yeah.
But it's so But I love the way that the plot is constructed, the way it's told. I think it's so unique. I love when movies do something different. So, in terms of the writing, I thought the writing was pretty good. What was the one thing I had? The one issue I had about this movie.
remember.
The issue I had about this movie was
That it ended. That's how I felt.
But my biggest issue about this movie was I didn't
villain.
understand how the villain's motives actually, like I didn't feel like the villain was that smart.
Well, no, I definitely understood her motive. She was dying.
Not motives. No, I don't feel like the villain was that smart. I
did say, I was like, how do you really think that people weren't going to notice that all these children were missing? And then
yeah. So my hot take of this movie is that the villain Gladys
I love that you phrase it as a hot take.
is not that smart. And
I think she's lived
I wish she
centuries
was
and has
smarter.
overestimated her abilities.
I wish she was smarter, because how did she imagine to take all these kids from this classroom and get away with it somehow? And honestly, she was doing pretty well, and she really wasn't safeguarding herself enough.
That's what I'm saying. People I've
she
seen people
didn't
say that
put,
maybe
like-
she manipulated the minds of the police too, because you think about one of the most iconic movies is It. This psychic creature was able to manipulate the town to not care about the children
Right.
missing, which is like a big, huge movie, and that's just like a thing on the side that the monster did. So she could have, because in the movie, so this is why it felt like, it's like, how did they not know? In the movie, the father looks at the security footage, sees her going in a straight line, and maps where they met, both people on opposite side of the towns where these two children would cross. He figured that out in a couple days. You're telling me the police, all these detectives, didn't think
Right.
about where the children ran, the direction they went
But
to,
she
straight
just,
line?
I don't think she she brought it all together like in a clever way. I don't feel like I felt like this villain was actually like smart.
No,
And
I
feel
think
like
the
most
biggest
villains
thing-
need to feel like that.
I feel like the biggest thing that showed that was weird out, which you brought up, is like, why did she send Marcus?
Yeah. So what
to
my
go
biggest
kill.
thing was is, so what ends up happening in the
But
movie?
we might have missed something.
maybe,
so
but
maybe we
it
missed
made me
something.
tell us. But
Yeah.
the biggest part where I noticed this was Justine, the teacher, was going after her, trying to figure out all this stuff. She was digging in all this stuff. And at this point in the movie, Gladys had already stolen her hair to be able to manipulate her, control her. She has her hair at the house. She knows she's following her. So she ends up getting this principal at the point, and she ties his stuff around the stick, and she ties what's her name's hair around the stick because she's digging into her too much, and then she sets the principal after her to go kill her. Her goal doing that was for her to get killed. She wanted her killed so she'd be off her radar. Mm-hmm. My question is for one, why send out this zombie man to go attack this person for no reason, really? There's really no reason to do it.
Well, it's also to keep the principal off her back, I think.
Right, but my biggest thing about this is...
Which I guess that maybe is why she sent him.
Is in the beginning of the movie, or at one point with the parents, when she's sitting at the table with the parents, she's able to control them to just kill themselves, like stab their faces with a fork. She's able to do that. She can control someone to just literally kill themselves. So my question is she has this girl's hair, she wants her dead, so she sends this principal after her to make this public spectacle that could possibly drag more attention to the whole thing. Like, why is there this zombie man who is missiling around town to kill this woman?
Which, by the way, I do love how creepy. I love how creepy that is to have a human.
Will see.
Yeah, I love how creepy it is to have like a human just like bullet towards somebody without stopping.
That's cool, but
yeah, and the makeup on his face is also awesome.
Why didn't she just kill her? That's like the biggest plot hole to me, is why didn't she just kill Justine?
But again, maybe if you guys know, if there's some part of the movie we missed.
I don't understand that. Why wouldn't she? And that's what makes me feel like she's not that smart of a villain, and I think she should have been written to be more smart, because I wish if it was revealed at the end that there was this big plan, that she had this plan for all these kids.
No, eventually she was just like, we're leaving.
Right. She was just like, we did the kids thing and now I'm leaving. Like, maybe it was just to recharge her power. Maybe she just goes from house to house in different towns and does this to people to get her life back and be a parasite.
That is, I think that's definitely what that's more obvious. Her motives are more obvious, like with her.
But I just feel like if she didn't want to get uncovered, which she was very concerned about, that she did not want to be found. She made sure the boy didn't say anything to anybody.
By the way, to comment on that too,
why would she drag that much attention to herself?
I wanted to say also a good comment thing on this movie. I think this movie definitely was commenting on abusive homes too. And I think they did a good job with that. With having a relative come in, a distant relative that he doesn't know, doing something awful, and then telling him, don't tell anybody about this. And having a child, like, you see how he is in school too, and how other adults see him. I think it's a good thing to also talk about how, like, we don't have the resources today to learn more about children who are acting like that. People aren't taught enough to deal with children that are acting like that. So it's just another thing that the movie touches on too that's also like heartbreaking and just makes it feel like so like you're like angry. You're like, what? I want someone to help this child. Like, can someone fix this, please? Like, why is no one paying attention to what's going on there? Like, all the windows are blocked out. No one's checked on him after his whole class went missing. They just like moved on completely from it.
One of the other things is that the drug addict character, he breaks into this house randomly. That was another thing that was awesome.
No, he's not. He knew that it was empty, or he saw it as empty, because the windows are boarded up, no one's answering. Like, he's probably seen that there's been no one there for a while. Like, there was a bunch of newspapers on the driveway too, which means they weren't there. So we thought I could just go in there, steal something real quick, and then leave.
Yeah, our main characters was Justine, the teacher, Gladys, Archer, the dad. We had the principal, Marcus, the drug addict, James.
Oh, I love Marcus.
And then
poor Marcus
cop,
and his
Paul.
This poor couple.
And the child. I think his name's Alex or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I thought all the main characters were pretty good. I think they were all very different and well fleshed out for the most part. Like, for a horror movie, because sometimes in horror movies people just die to die, and like that's it. They were just there to die.
Yeah.
And like I feel like everybody got something to them before they died. Definitely the principal was very innocent and should not have gotten touched.
No, his boyfriend.
Yeah.
Him and his poor boyfriend were just sitting with matching Walt Disney Mickey Mouse shirts, and they were just trying to watch their little documentary with their charcuterie cheese and like snack board. And then Gladys comes to their house, and because she wants to turn him into a zombie, a weapon, she manipulates them to come and be like, I need water. And the boyfriend is like, come in, I'll give you some water. Help this poor woman. And then she just makes him bash his head in and leave. It's just so sad.
That was pretty sad.
They were so happy.
In terms of, let me think. Yeah, I liked myself. I mean, the performances were all pretty good. I thought they were pretty interesting. We had some big actors in this movie. We had Josh Brolin and what is her name? God, what is her name?
I don't know.
Julia Garner. She plays the Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four. And then Wong was the principal.
Yeah.
So he, unfortunately,
I can't believe in the other universe that he tried to run away.
Unfortunately, he is dead.
So sad.
Okay, we definitely probably got to move on from this topic. So overall,
very
weapons,
good.
Weapons is...
Would you put it in your big fucking board, or are you going to do that near the end?
We'll do that at the end.
Okay. All right.
Okay, anyway.
Rank your thing. We got to hurry up.
Okay, it's time for...
Drake's big fucking board. Yay.
We're going to do the other board first. So the board that we ranked the Hangover one, we may make another one once we get more movies on this, because I'm going to put weapons on here for now. This is just going to be my movies board, like just movies other than comic book movies, basically. Until there's so many on here that I feel like they need to be separated into separate boards, like horror movies from comedy movies. Okay. All right, so we're going to rank weapons. So what do you think about weapons in total? Where would you rank it?
I'd say S.
Really?
I really love that movie. It's pretty perfect. There's only just a few things, but like, it's not that, like, it doesn't ruin the movie at all. And
see, my thing is, I think it is really good. I think if it's...
it like exceeded expectations. It did new things. The pacing was amazing. The actors, the characters, like, they all felt like...
I don't know how to explain this, though. I'm going to rank weapons. I don't know how to explain this, though. I just feel like...
A or S? Don't,
it's
swear
A.
to God. Okay.
It's A or S. I'm sorry. No, I won't be controversial.
You like slowly move it towards the yellow. Like, so.
I'm not going to be controversial. I'm not going to be controversial because I do really like this movie. I do think it's, at the very least, high A's. I do. I just don't know if it hits S.
It hits S for me. What is it about that, like, you can't even really pinpoint it. I think it does the horror really well. It does the psychological stuff really well. It does, like, the trauma well.
But the thing for me is...
It's new. It's different.
I just feel like if it's an S movie, I feel it. I feel like it's an S movie.
I felt a lot of emotion.
I just come out of it, I'm like, man, that was...
I came out of the movie, I was like, that is such a good movie.
I did feel that, but I didn't come out feeling like that's one of the best movies ever.
Do you have Endgame in S?
I do. I do have Endgame in S. What?
Okay. If you didn't have any attachment to those characters or any storyline from that at all,
but that's why
you cannot put that S.
That's why it's on a separate board. That's why it's on a separate board, because Endgame does not.
Could you put Endgame on this board on S?
No,
okay.
I wouldn't. Okay. That's why they don't translate. Superhero comic book movies don't Okay. So no, this is why there's separate boards. Because I don't think that, just like I don't think Candace Cameron on a C tier meeting experience is the same as some movie that's on a comic book.
I'll give it A. You've convinced me.
How have I convinced you?
You've convinced me.
But why? You said S.
But I came out thinking it was a really good movie, but I didn't really cry.
But do you understand what I mean? Where I don't feel like it was like...
It blew me out of the water. It was amazing.
It was like, whoa, like S tier.
No, I feel like I
think it was...
I looked at my S list because I have my own little mini board on a phone. And I realized almost everything I've ranked in S, I cried really hard on.
Right. I'm going to put it... I'm going to rank weapons in high A tier. I think it is like just about an S. But it just doesn't give me S tier. I don't feel like it's...
So it's like a 90? Or 95?
It's like...
And S is 100.
It's like a 94. Because I feel like 95 and up is S tier. Or something like that. That's my ranking for weapons. pretty good. I think that's pretty good. I mean, for a freaking standalone horror movie with a $30 million budget, I'm very, very happy that
they should be honored.
Right. They should be honored.